Nothing rhymes with 18. It's episode 18. Woo! Welcome back to the Rena 100 Show, the weekly podcast where I, Rena 100, brain fart into your ears. Ew, why did I say it like that? Today we're going to talk about the topic getting away. Getting away. Going away. Away. Out there. The first thought that comes to mind is vacation. Vacation. Vacation, if we need it, does it mean we hate our lives? Yes. No. I don't know. I think even if we don't, if we do hate our lives, definitely time for a vacation. The problem is most of us can't really afford a real vacation. But you can, I don't know, a cheap vacation. Maybe even just one day where you do something completely different, you know? You just call out of work one day or on your day off and you just don't do your chores and you just go somewhere calming, somewhere near trees or nature or somewhere to get away and clear your head. But even if we don't hate our lives, isn't it good to take a break from what you're doing all the time? Isn't it nice? Doesn't it give you some perspective on your habits, or maybe just give your brain a way of forming new pathways from what you're always, from the well-trodden roads in your mind. Perhaps you can take the road less traveled. Why am I still doing that accent? It gives you perspective. Like, when you're standing on the mountain, you can't really tell what it looks like. But when you go down the mountain and away a little bit, you can look up at it and say, whoa, I was on a mountain. That's a lot. Maybe I should give myself a break, you know? And that's really important, to just every once in a while take the time to reflect on what you've been doing. Take some inventory, take stocks, to make sure that your life is moving in a direction that you can be comfortable with, you can be proud of, you can stay invested in. So yeah, and always, I think it's also just good for your brain to break your habits every once in a while, just so it can remember how to scramble and try something new. Even if you love your habits, might be good. Don't do it in an unhealthy way. I remember very often on the way to work or school, I'd be in the metro and just be like, what if I just went the wrong way for no reason? I loved doing stuff like that when I was younger because there were way lower stakes if I messed up. If I miss a day of school, maybe I'd get in trouble, but my life wouldn't fall apart. I wouldn't miss a bill payment, And then I could just live in a world of possibility, which is really what the world should be for all of us, I think. I'm a bit of an idealist. But the world is rich with mystery and adventure, and we should be tasting it every once in a while. We shouldn't be cooped up behind a screen, replying to emails or whatever it is people do at normal jobs that I don't understand what's really happening there. Getting away. Getting away can also mean getting away from something that's unhealthy. It's good to take space. If you're feeling like something or someone that you're around all the time is just shutting you down, pulling you down, it's okay to take a little bit of space from that and it doesn't mean you're never going to talk to this person again. Obviously you don't have to, or I don't know. But I think it just means then you can come back refreshed, re-strengthened in the face of the negativity and maybe approach it in a different way. It's hard not to reflect people's negativity back at them. And if you don't take time to refresh yourself, then, you might just fall prey to their habits without even injecting some conscious ones of your own. Um, and it's just good. It's just good. You can allow for new possibilities and shift your perspective. Maybe you'll even realize, like, hey, if I come at this person, I'm not saying it's your fault or your responsibility to do this, but if I come at this person or situation with a refreshed mind full of positivity and mystery and adventure, maybe they'll reflect that back at me a little bit. Of course, some people are just black holes and it doesn't matter what you throw at them. And it's just hard not to get sucked in. But sometimes it really does help. On the other hand, it's totally okay to just dislike someone and just be honest. But yeah, it's good to get away, because not every society is the same. I mean, on a broader way, I think good to travel, although it feels wholly unnatural because we just shouldn't be able to zip around the globe at the speeds that we zip. I mean, and that's really, it's like you're just changing the channel on Earth. Like you're just like, ooh, I went from, Texas to Saudi Arabia. Actually, there's too many parallels there. I got to think of things that are more different. But you just flip the channel and suddenly you're in backwards land or forwards land or everything's upside down land and in a language that you don't speak. And you got there in half a day, That's very fast, rather than those long, scenic, sea-bound journeys of the days of yore, where you'd have months to reflect on the transition that you were making culturally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, some kind of pilgrimage, some kind of relocation, some kind of exploration. Now you just you go to the airport, zippity-doo-dah, you get some bad food, and then boom, you're in Southeast Asia from here. And it's just you just flip the channel. And that's weird. And that's good, I think, because then at least you can be viscerally reminded that not every society operates the way ours does. And that allows for new possibilities as well. That you see that it's possible for, a well-run, for a country to be well-run, first of all, for a country to care about its citizens, for a country to have tax-funded healthcare for all, and for the middle class to thrive. Okay, I'm not going to make this a political podcast, but you get the idea. And even within a society, I mean, you go from a city, to a small town in the United States, boom, culturally very different. You flip the channel. Or even between cities. Chicago's not LA. LA's not New York, as we're very often reminded in many a comedy routine. I'm talking here. That's what I should have called my podcast. I should have called it I'm Talking Here with Rena Hunter. Why didn't I do that? I'm talking here. I wonder if that's taken. Anyway, so yeah, even within every small town, between the small towns, the elements change and the people are different and the vibe is very specific, I'm assuming. Or maybe there's no vibe because none of those towns are walkable anymore. So I don't even know how much these people are meeting up with each other rather than just holing up in their living rooms looking at funny YouTube videos. But I hope that's not true. Another way that we can make space is internally, making space inside. I mean, and this is especially useful if you're in an emotionally crowded scenario. Let's say like a funeral or just somewhere where there's a lot going on around you. And you need some place to feel comfortable, safe, feeling whatever it is you're feeling. And maybe it's not so comfortable to display it outwardly, or maybe it is. I'm not saying it shouldn't be. I'm just saying if you need a space and there isn't any space outside, there's always a space that you can create inside. And you always have the power to do that with your imagination and your mind and your heart and your spirit. God, I hesitate before using the word spirit. Yes, I live in California. Yes, that's probably why I said that word. But anyway, you always have the possibility of making space internally. Now, the flip side of that obviously is disassociation. But that's like an extreme version of making, I mean, it's not just making space internally, it's making space between you and your body, and you floating up into space away from your body. I've never fully been able to do that with my consciousness. I realized I watched a TikTok, God, every fucking episode I bring up a TikTok video. I watched a TikTok video yesterday. I shouldn't say a TikTok video. I watched a TikTok. God, I'm such a millennial. I watched a TikTok yesterday. And in the TikTok, the girl is like, where is your consciousness located? Because we're all behind our mouths, right? And I was like, what? What? I'm behind my eyes. I've always been behind my eyes. That's where my consciousness sits in my brain. And then I just realized, oh my God, everybody's consciousness is sitting in a different spot in their heads. And that's so trippy and weird. And I don't like to think about it because it makes me feel like an alien. But that's interesting too. And stuff like that forces me to make space between my old ideas and my new ones. And isn't that fun that we're always growing from the old into the new?